Really?
Come on, this is fucking bullshit, man.
It is bullshit. He's white.
I remember when I told Kevin to watch Shogun, he asked me, does the white guy fuck any Japanese girl? And I was just like, well,
You said that was a white guy. I was like,
The Japanese girls love white men.
Well, anyways, this is AniPod, so anime.
Oh, did you start recording? I wasn't.
When did you start recording?
So-
What the fuck?
Oh, I don't fuck. Yeah. Anyways. This season is the season where I think all of us have been watching the most seasonals in like 6-7 years.
Who are you talking
that's
to?
not true.
Do you know who I am?
I'm talking about even you, Glenn. How many seasonals are you watching these days?
15.
You gotta touch grass.
Okay, well, you're never gonna change, so whatever.
I gotta touch
I'm talking
grass.
about me and Kevin.
I don't want to touch grass. I want to keep pretending that anime women are the epitome of life and probably never change that perspective and kind of just die alone. That's my current game plan. You know, I think the reason that I have interstitial lung disease is because I watch too much anime. I'm convinced.
Yeah, God's trying to say something.
You're just like... No, I think you just jerk off too much. You're just breathing in, like, your own semen. So.
Well, that's right. People drink semen all the time. Why would that matter at all in this situation?
You're unlucky. You're in your mother's basement.
I'm just unlikely. Maybe my semen's toxic. It's a big possibility. It's like virgin semen just goes.
You got a bit of asbestos in it.
God's trying to tell you something, and that's why it's called divine intervention.
What's the intervention? Killing me? He's not. He didn't. He's just
trying to
like,
stop you by
change
any
your
means
life.
necessary.
You're dead in 5 years. We talked about KonoSuba way too much last time. We honestly can't talk about KonoSuba again.
Okay, did we talk about KonoSuba last time?
We talked about KonoSuba for like
we
no,
like
we talked about KonoSuba
minutes.
for like seriously half an hour, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, I haven't even started season 3.
KonoSuba's good.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's still the same thing, and it's just good, basically. He's like,
Yeah, no,
everything
it's
you
really
read is
good.
just
Pretty much.
And
Okay.
yeah. Well, I mean, we didn't talk about Iris though. Like, you've seen Iris now, right, Glenn?
I have.
So what do you think?
She is. What do you think?
She's a blonde, blue-eyed lolly who's a bit bratty, and you're telling me.
No,
like,
you're
Kazuma's
just
got
a
whole,
dealer
like,
coming up to me.
Brother-sister complex with her. This is like perfect for you.
I don't like the implications going on here. I don't like the implications.
Yeah,
that
no,
you're
I know you're
right.
a certified lover boy, right?
What if I didn't like her? Would we not be friends anymore? Would you be like, I don't know I don't know him. I don't know this guy anymore.
Yeah, I
thought
think you're
knew
just be
him.
replaced. You're like an alien. You're like, this isn't right. Something.
I like her a lot. I need more time. I like her a lot. Okay. If a dealer came up to me and was like, I got this smug petite girl that calls you Oni-chan that's blonde and also a little bit of a brat, I would probably be like, you a cop? That'd probably be my first question. Yeah. Can't say that on. I don't think you can say that on YouTube. Maybe I don't know.
What do you mean? What? You can't say that?
Cute and funny.
Yeah, she's cute and funny. She is very cute and funny.
Yeah, and also
I
I do like that Darkness is a lot better this season. I mean, we're already getting to the part where Darkness just keeps on. She's leveling up to the point where she's at least close to Aqua and Megumin.
Yeah, she's not as far behind. Not just like there, and you're like, man, I really wish this character wasn't here so I could see the other two. Gets away from that feeling, which is very important. And shows how good KonoSuba is that it can do that, because it's been 2 seasons of not really caring that much about her to going like becoming like she has her moments, but this is when it really starts to pick up, and Darkness she becomes a light. She becomes a light. But it is funny that they introduce a second blonde character that's better than her.
She just can't catch a break. I don't know. Like, I'm just so happy that KonoSuba is still funny, because that Megumin spinoff really made me worried. I was like, is the magic gone? Is it done? But no, it just, yeah, KonoSuba needs the whole gang for it to really work. And yeah, I mean, it's just really good, but we've already probably said a lot. Oh, but the first episode, Kazuma's like PTSD jump scares are like I don't think that was in the light novel at all. That was like, I think entirely just them fucking around for the first half of that episode.
which is an interesting decision, honestly. I don't remember any other original content in KonoSuba.
Yeah, I think they. Well, no. I mean, the movie, the entire climax.
The entire movie
was like pretty much.
Yeah, that's like most anime movies, but yeah, technically, yeah.
I mean, almost the entirety of the movie follows through, like one whole volume up until the climatic scene where they just kind of do their own thing, and they kind of like follow through with it in the first episode. Oh yeah, I was pretty happy that the movie just wasn't a one-off thing, and like it still has ripples spread across the show. But that's enough of KonoSuba.
We talked about it so like I want to talk like I love KonoSuba. You know I want to talk about. We talked about it so much. We have to stop. Like go watch the last episode and re-listen because we basically are just going to say the same things because we've already read the novels and it's basically
I haven't read
not
the
same staff completely. Well, it's because you don't know how to read, Kevin. You're an engineer that doesn't know how to read.
I do know how to read. I don't want to.
Well, no, you know how to read numbers. You don't know how to read words.
Kevin, it's not that he can't read; it's that he doesn't understand words. Like Kevin literally does not understand human emotions. So when he reads words, he's like, brain does not compute. ChatGPT, help me. Yeah, speaking of ChatGPT, can we talk about your problem?
Anyways, let's talk about a season 3.
No.
I am not happy about.
Because Spice and Wolf?
No. I mean, I guess you can count that as a season 3. But no, Yuru Camp season 3 is like...
Oh.
Wait, that's not
dull.
good. That's
no,
not good?
It's not. It's... I mean, I'm sure a lot of people probably like it, but to me, I knew immediately when I saw the first episode, I was like, is this a different director? This isn't the same guy who's been making Yuru Camp, because this isn't Yuru Camp. Like, it doesn't have the same sort of wit the original Yuru Camp had. I mean, like, Yuru Camp is, sure, repetitive, because it's just the girls going camping, but the original director, like, sprinkled in a lot of comedic moments that were always, I guess, at least visually fresh. So even though, it's just the girls camping again, there would be, a visual gag.
It's kind of necessary for, like,
and season 3
specifically
didn't have that. It was just so straightforward. It's just, the girls are going camping. It's relaxing, isn't it? And it moves so slowly compared to the kinetic energy of the characters from the previous installments. And it is just weird to me at the end of the day to see Yuru Camp like go into the future, into their adulthood, and then just revert back to them being in high school and kind of just lose all of that narrative and character development. It was like, why am I watching this again? I mean, I'm sure many people probably don't care, and they're just like, they just want more of the characters. But I feel like I'm not getting the characters because the comedy isn't there anymore. The wit, the kind of like sometimes suffering that that is involved with camping, like none of that is there because in the original Yuru Camp anime, like they camp and it's relaxing and it's peaceful, but it's not always fun. They have to deal with a lot of problems, and just this time it's just so easy. And
sometimes a dog attacks you.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen it yet, Glenn, but
I did. I don't think it's as intimate. I think that's the word I'd use. It doesn't feel as intimate as the first 2 seasons, and also the movie, because then the movie, we talked about that already quite a lot, so I won't bring it up too much. But definitely the first 2 seasons feels as if they took the first 2 seasons and looked at reviews on My Anime List or something, or random internet forums, and they were like, oh man, everyone thinks it's really comfy. That must be, that's a word that doesn't mean anything, but let's pretend it does and make an entire season around it. Because it's a menace, that word. There's no depth to it, and there's no meaning to it. Because the first 2 seasons, like you said, they have these inherent pitfalls to the hobby, the inherent pitfalls to, like, be new to something. Like, there's a lot of small little understandings that go through that, of like the simplest of human experiences that everyone can relate to. This does not really have that. It doesn't feel the same. It's like a lame interpretation of the first 2 seasons. Yeah,
it is. And even though Yuru Camp, like a lot of people would say it's just girls camping, what more do you want from it? And I mean, just look at season 1. Season 1 is so good as a standalone, just because
it's really good.
Like, the season ends exactly where it began. The final episode of season 1 ends at the very same location where Nadeshiko and Rin meet, and it kind of builds up the same way. But even despite each episode is just them going camping, they still change by the end of the show. Like when Rin and Nadeshiko meet at the last episode compared to when they meet at the first episode in the same location, like they're different people and things work differently. And ideally, you'd assume that every new installment of Yuru Camp, things would work differently. And this time, I don't know. Like, this new director, I looked into him, and this is the first time he's, like, directed any show. And he kind of had some involvement, I think, in Yuru Camp Season 2. But that's really much it. And it's just sad. I don't know. He just... Apparently, the previous Yuru Camp director is, like, directing something else this season or something. I don't remember. But, yeah, this new director, it just felt like he didn't know what to do. So he was like doing what had been done before, but lost the magic in trying to replicate that old feeling. That's
what happens when you're trying to imitate something that you didn't do originally. You just don't have the actual original spark of something.
Yeah.
Wait, so Yuru Camp's based off the manga, right? Yeah.
Okay.
So it's not like just original material, but it's just by a director who's, I guess, new and is inexperienced.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Like, I don't know the guy, so but it definitely does feel like inexperienced. I feel like there's no indication of what it wants to show me. Like, it's showing, when you watch something, and when like a TV show or anime or whatever, like it knows what it wants to focus on. It like directs the audience attention. Like, you can feel it when tension is amping up. You can feel it when like, we're going to talk about Euphonium later, but you can, like, feel it whenever something significant happens. Like, I think in one of the UFO episodes where Kumiko and Reina are listening to the same track of music and they come to the same sort of realization or something, and then just the sun appears out of nowhere and it just radiates the scene,
Euphonium,
and it changes the
level.
entire environment just through lighting and nothing else. And as an audience, you feel like you're being guided down a path. And yeah, this season of Yuru Camp didn't have that at all. Things are just happening, and it's almost like you're just reading a Wikipedia article of what's happening.
That's sad. I knew somebody who did that back when Lost was airing. Like, they just pretended to watch Lost and read the Wikipedia article, and they knew more about the show than most people. And, like, the actual people who watched it, they had a better understanding. Weirdly, he was the only one who wasn't lost. I think it's no small undertaking to take on, like, a project that's already been visually done by somebody else, and I guess maybe you want to try manifesting it in your own way. This new director, I'm not sure if that's what he attempted or if this is just his first, outing as doing something as a head director, where in anime it's very different than live action. Everyone knows that. I would hope so anyway. But in this case, I have to say, it's just, there's no artistry, there's no intimacy, and it's sad because it's a really fun show, and to walk away from a new season of it and thinking, wow, I didn't have any fucking fun. It's awful. It's awful. I want to go to bed. I want to go lie down and think about my life.
I mean, I love Yuru Camp. I hate saying this about it. Like, I don't want to dislike it.
It's disliked. It's too late. It's gone.
Yeah.
There was no small undertaking to fuck up Yuru Camp, and they somehow did. But I think you talked about UFO, so I guess you might as well talk about that so Kevin can say something.
Sure.
Talk about UFO, Kevin.
What?
Good job, Kevin. Fantastic. I'm glad you're on this anime podcast with two of your friends. I'm really glad that you're here.
I thought Matt was gonna say something. No, okay.
Oh no. Is this how your first dates go?
I've said too much already. I'll say something later. You should say something, Kevin.
I have a question for him first, man. I have a question for him. No. Me first. Me first.
Okay, yeah. Well,
okay, so there's a cute girl. She has fluffy hair. You see her at the bar. You don't drink. You're too much of a pussy. You're afraid of alcohol. You think it tastes weird. You go up to her and you say, I won't buy you a drink because that costs money, but I really like your hair. And then she says, oh, thanks. And then what do you say?
That's pretty lame. What do you mean? Oh, thanks. What are you drinking?
Oh, you just start insulting her?
Well, see, this case would never happen. I would never go
How
to
do you know
a
this is
bar.
Kumiko? This is Kumiko in this example.
She would never be in a bar. I would never be in a bar.
How do you know Kumiko
You don't
would
know
never be in a
that.
bar?
Kumiko's a whore. She would hella be in a bar.
Oh, wait, no, that's true. She would be in a bar with Reina. That's the only person she would be
Yeah,
in a bar
exactly.
with. She's already taken. I'd get smacked the shit out of by Reina.
You could have them both.
No, he doesn't have that
No.
riz. Let's be honest. Kevin does not have the lesbians somehow magically stop being lesbians for a second riz. It is not within his power. Okay, now your turn. Talk about UFO.
UFO? I mean, we're back. I have this like melancholy feeling of like watching, I don't know, one of my favorite shows airing, because I can't imagine not imagine, like I can't remember a time where that's actually ever happened before, where like it's your favorite show that's airing, not when it's like you're just watching something and then it becomes your favorite show. So I have this weird feeling of like melancholy where I'm like, I kind of don't want it to end, but at the same time, let me binge it, even though it's only been like 5 episodes. I hate watching it airing. It's like,
Yeah, that's
it's
been a
actually
Kevin
killing
classic.
me. I need to binge it. Like every time like 20 minutes happens, I'm like, it happens so fast. I'm like, where's the next ep? I just need to know what happens, you know. But no.
Yeah, no, I'm the same.
Watching UFO season 3 is like, we're just back. All the technical aspects are so good. Like the sound design in that show is like, nothing compares to it. Honestly, it's like everything feels so alive in that show, especially all the lighting, and like especially, was it episode 3, the one where Kumiko has to talk to her underclassmen because she's afraid like they're all about to like mass quit,
Yeah.
and she has to be
I think that's episode 3.
yeah, she has to be a pillar of support for like everyone. And it's like you're like being like a proud parent watching Kumiko from like the start of season 1, where she's like, oh, she's gonna eavesdrop but do nothing, to now actually like, you know, helping people solve their problems and insecurities about themselves. And yeah, I wanna see them go for gold. But I'm always thinking, well, it's like, obviously I haven't read UFO, like what actually happens, but I'm thinking like how I want the series to end. It's like, do I want them to win gold, or do I just want them to pursue perfection but never reach it, and then ultimately just have them like be content with at least like they gave it their all or their hardest? But either way, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be another good season.
Yeah. Honestly, I genuinely don't think it matters if they win gold or not, because it's
it doesn't matter to
it's
me.
one of those, the journey that matters.
I'll be
is
happy
the
if they
friends
do.
we made along the way. I think it would be like, it's probably not gonna happen. I think it would be a really interesting decision if they just don't say. If like they end the show and like obviously they'll like follow up with the characters afterwards, but they just don't make it clear if they win or not. Because I think that would be a good indication of like the win doesn't matter. Because obviously it could easily feel cheap if they do win gold, because, oh, it's Kumiko's last year, of course she has to win gold. Or it could like feel shitty if they don't win gold. You know, you can't really win either way. So I think it'd be cool if they just don't say if they win or not.
That'd be an
but
interesting
who knows?
choice, but I can see it going either way.
Yeah.
Like, if they do win gold, it'll be because they deserved it, and it'd be like because everyone's
Like, it
finally
works
one
either
unit.
way.
Yeah.
I mean, it really doesn't matter. No, I think it's funny that you said that, like, oh, watching Kumiko, it makes you feel like a proud parent. Because for me, it's more so like, oh, like it's retribution, because she always likes to be nosy and
Retribution.
muddle. Well, because she likes to like meddle in with other people's problems, but like stay far enough away where if it fails, she's not responsible for it. But now she's in the most like front-facing position where no matter what happens, she will be responsible, but she still can't stop that like meddling attitude. Like it works perfectly for her because she likes to meddle and she can't like stop thinking about certain stuff like gossip or whatnot. And even in the show, in like episode 4 or something, she admits that like, man, like I'm really just overthinking this stuff and I'm thinking like the worst of people. But like she doesn't like to be responsible for anything that goes wrong, so she has to walk a really thin narrow tightrope to be the good guy all the time now, and because it's really strange. I think the making her like the president of the club really puts her in a challenging position for the kind of person she is, and it's good. I mean, it
makes sense
really
for her
fun to watch
development
her do
because
that.
it's like she learned that from Asuka, learning to stop being so passive, and now actually like not fully taking charge, but actually being in a position to
Yeah.
being in a
sorry,
position
go
to
Yeah.
help everyone.
And what's
And-
also interesting is that like she's kind of acting as a sort of Asuka-esque mentor to potentially like 2 or 3 other people who are like, there's like Kanade, who's
Oh no,
the
dude! I
brat,
love
and-
Kanade and Kumiko. I actually,
Yeah.
them together are like 2 gremlins. I love them when they're together. Kanade just like has like full on gremlin energy, and then like Kumiko's like trying to shut it down, but then like kind of gives into it. It's like, Kanade's kind of cute when she's like being a little little shitter.
Yeah. And then there's the other first year. What's her name? She's the one who's like always Suzume, I think. She's the one who's like, oh, I say what's ever in my mind. She's the
Oh, the little sister
And-
character. I actually do.
yeah,
like
yeah,
her.
yeah, the little sister. Yeah, so she's kind of like causing a lot of
She's a zoomer.
Problem-
Is what she is. She's a zoomer.
she is. She is, but like she's also kind like I think they're showing us what Kumiko looked like from the point of view of like the 3rd years in the first season when Kumiko's just walking up to people and like, yo, what's going on here, huh?
Yo, are you 2 dating?
It's
That's
really
crazy.
interesting, like- Yeah.
That's a good meditation on the constant revolving cycle of specifically Japanese high school.
Yeah.
Obviously like K-On! Touched on that probably the best, but that's a good like callback, I would say, to kind of what a lot of their earlier series were kind of like, where they touched on like the fucking Japanese high school system and the way that it just circulates, and it's a cycle of never-ending cute girls, especially if it's an anime.
This brass band is just developing its own society. All these girls are turning like getting Joker-fied.
Society. Dude, competitive stuff like that, especially in school, it just does that to you. It's this constant feeling of I'm better than other people because I'm doing this with my free time instead of going home and doing nothing. And you kind of like have this profound insight in your head, at least you think you have that because you're a young kid. And then everyone who's older or better than you, it just turns into this intergenerational gap, or even not even like generational gap, just people the same age as you, of emerging away from like the serenity of like old schools, because I feel like once you get to high school, that's when shit gets serious. That's when the drama starts, and there's no such thing as a small triumph. Everything is a massive victory or nothing at all. I feel like that's how Kumiko does everything.
I mean, yeah, when you're in your high school, like your life is just school, so everything feels like it matters. But obviously, once after you graduate, you realize, oh, yeah, none of this actually mattered. Like, no one actually cared. Like, this doesn't matter. But once you're in it, I mean,
yeah, it's like a fake. It's a simulation. High school is a simulation, actually. No, come on, it genuinely is. It's putting you through this like.
It feels real at the time, but it's very not real afterwards.
Yeah, it's like it is preparation. It's preparation for real life, because there's a lot of people who are like, "Man, high school was nothing like real life." It definitely was.
Oh no, yeah,
definitely was.
There's so many
All the
adults that
drama
act
people-
dumber than some high schoolers I teach.
No, I genuinely feel like when I first saw UFO, when I was like, I don't know, I think the first time I saw UFO, I was in college, and it felt like a drama. But watching UFO back now, it's almost like a comedy with how seriously everybody's taking these really small tidbits and just overthinking what someone else is implying and all that stuff. And it just does it so well. Like, it's a totally different perspective depending on what
like the
age you are when you're watching it.
I think for a lot of people, and I think you probably aren't thinking about it too hard right now, but there's definitely things that are tiny and implicative that you still overthink. It's like it's with everybody.
For sure.
It's and then it causes the most massive issues. Obviously, high school, that's when it's at its peak. That is when it is being accentuated to a point where it's like, Jesus fucking Christ, this is the worst experience of my life. And then some of the people, I would assume us three at the very minimum, I would hope so, because you guys are some of my best friends. I would think that I picked decent friends. I sure hope so. Though to be fair, when I told you that I had interstitial lung disease, the first thing you asked me about was anime porn. I think you just said, "Oh, have you seen this?" That was like that's literally exactly what happened. Actually, now that I think about it, maybe I haven't picked the best of friends. Actually,
You didn't choose wise enough.
oh man, I hope I live in America, so I really hope that I can get therapy. And then when I have no friends after this call. What was I saying? But it's a very good showing of the harsh realities of your own stupidity, because you don't realize how stupid you were until a year later, usually, especially in high school.
Yeah, it's just I'm always happy that UFO is like consistently what it is. Like it's the same thing. Like Yuru Camp is like always the same show, and UFO is always the same show. Like there's these girls in the brass band club, like they're with their like petty gossip and drama. It's basically like Japanese Gossip Girl, but like even though you would imagine it being repetitive, like just the way that the narrative
it's just
flows,
made so well.
good. Yeah, like there's an air in UFO that doesn't
Yeah.
feel dead like it does in fucking Yuru Camp season 3.
In
the
UFO,
episode,
there's
the
like
episode from last night. Yeah, go ahead.
What? No, yeah. There's like an era in UFO where like it actually feels like everything's true to life. It's like some moments are obviously over exaggerated in the moment for like to certain characters, but then if you actually put in their shoes, you can feel like you can feel like it's actually important to that character, right? When they have that moment where they're like second guessing themselves or being reflective, or like, I don't know if I'm good enough or I should continue to play in the band. I haven't seen the latest episode yet. It was like episode 5, but
Yep.
there's like 2 subplots I'm interested in seeing where it goes. It's like, first is Kumiko's future, because she's in the final year, and whenever you're in final year of high school, you always have that like decision of like, oh, what do you want to do with your life? Because now you actually have to like pick or like choose something at least. And
there's a bit of dread there. Yeah. Like,
because you don't like, no one knows what they're actually going to do in the next 5-10 years of their life. Like people want you to pick, but at the end of the day, it's like, if you don't know, you don't know.
Yeah.
The second,
also, like, you're seeing how
career
immature these people are being, and like at this state of mind, they have to decide their future.
Yeah. The
I think
second
in the career sheet for that, I put die when they're like, what are your top 3 chosen prospects for when you graduate? And I think I put death, the ground, shotgun.
I think that was like my 4th option, because it was
Maybe
it was
you
like,
do need to seek therapy.
because yeah, being Asian, it's like become lawyer, become doctor, become engineer, or you're not one of those 3. You kicked out. Yeah.
That's what Kevin sounded like when I first met him when he was a baby.
Oh.
When he was 15 years old.
Yeah, we're just born with that accent.
I taught you guys how to speak like Americans.
That is true.
You don't
understand.
I colonized you guys.
You don't understand. Some people who like don't know me that well, they think I'm like, why? How come you don't have an Australian accent but you have an American accent? I'm like, do I? I was like, you did this. It's you. You did this.
I did do this.
Do you have an American accent? I don't think so.
Well, I don't have an Australian one. Is the thing.
Kevin just sounds like a guy.
I don't have an Australian one. Like, you can tell. I can put on an Australian accent, but I don't. If I have to just
weirdly, I can tell that you're Asian when you speak. I know that sounds weird, but I can just kind of.
But I don't sound like I do not sound like this. I don't talk like that.
Kevin,
speak normal English. What do you? I can do that. I'm Asian. I'm allowed to do it. But everyone, everyone,
I'm
calm
Japanese.
down.
I'm allowed to do it too.
Well, I think 2 of us are allowed to do it. I'm not sure if all of us are allowed to do it.
I'm Japanese.
I don't condone that.
You don't. Wait. Do I get the pass?
Do you get the chink pass?
Whoa.
Yes.
Whoa.
Do I get that? Do I get that pass?
I can't
say the word until you give me the pass.
Ask your black friends first.
I did. I have that pass.
You maybe go off on a tangent. The second one was like Mayu's character. It's like we know that she's good playing the UFO and being like a third year, but like she's just like kind of like an outsider who's like just doing her own thing, not really like she's like airhead, and I'm just waiting for her to like to cause actual
they're saving
drama.
her for like the end or something.
Yeah.
Like she's like this simmering pot right now. Like I genuinely don't know if she's just a red herring or if they actually want to do something like crazy with
they
her.
have to do something because like in the first episode, the way she was like introduced, it's like, look at this super like new girl in year 3 who's gonna cause some like drama, and then she's like the most nicest person sometimes, and then just says like one off-putting thing, which is really,
I do feel
strange.
like she's Kanade, but she's better at it. That's my guess. It's like Kanade can't hide her. No, like I think she's smug, but she's way better at hiding it. She's smug. I think she's like a really good gaslighter potentially. I don't know. It's just because she will say something that's like a bit unhinged, and he's like, "Oh wait, sorry, did I say too much? Well, it's fine." Like they purposefully make her a fish out of water because she's still like dressed in her old uniform, so she just constantly always looks separated from everyone else. So I think that's trying to indicate like she's on a different wavelength.
Yeah, she's not part of the group.
But it's just like, kind of she comes in, she's all really smug and she's like shitty, she's like really bratty, but it's like clearly obvious. Like she just can't hide it. It's just so on her face. But this character, I feel like everything she says has that same energy, but it's all cushioned and sugared up.
Hearing you say sugared up sounds really weird. I don't know why.
I
Please
don't know.
continue.
It's
I'm just a little bit bothered.
It's sugar coated, I guess. Maybe that's the right thing to say.
You have a wife, Matt. I just want to shove it.
I don't know. I just, yeah, she just has everything she says just seems really polite, but I don't know, just filled with red flags. And I feel like she's actually dissing everyone. Like when she says like, oh, like I don't know if I should just quit the band. Like I don't even know if I should join.
Yeah, she does feel like
what if I'm too
says
good
a lot of
I feel like
condescending
I legit
things.
thought that was like a threat to Kumiko. It's like, is she just threatening her?
No, she does. She definitely feels superior. Like she herself feels superior than everyone else in that, because she's like, "Oh, I'm good, but like if I'm gonna cause too much drama, then I'll just quit. I don't really care." Even though like she plays well, she's gonna be like the type of like, "Oh, why are you going for gold? Like it doesn't really matter because like you're whatever you're gonna do, like afterwards is like, is it really gonna get you a good job? Like it's just music, you know."
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like I feel that across all of the stuff in UFO, there never really has been an antagonist. Like, there are people who've been kind of antagonistic towards Kumiko, like, not that much, though. Like, you could say Asuka's kind of a bit antagonistic in some small ways, but not really. And Kanade was, like, the closest to being an antagonistic character. But she got kind of tamed relatively quickly. But this character seems like a way bigger challenge.
I think, like, the chief antagonist of UFO is the shocking negativity that comes with passion.
Yeah, which is a good one.
Like
it's
yeah.
The strive for perfection where you'll never ever able to achieve it.
It's whiplash.
Yep. Except there's no like fucking teacher gonna throw a symbol at your head. But that's Glenn, did you say you've seen the newest episode?
Yeah, I did.
That's the Agata Festival, right? I need to watch it.
Yeah.
What is the Agata Festival? Is that like the fireworks
festival
thing again?
UFO always has an episode like that.
Yeah, where it's like, hey, remember that they're gay?
It's
we promise.
Kumi Ray! It's Kumi Ray. They're
we
gay.
Promise. We're not baiting you. There's just males occasionally. Our bad. It was required by the TV network. I only wanted to bring it up because it was directed by Taichi Ishidate. And Taichi Ishidate is, he hasn't directed anything in like 7 years or something like that.
Yeah. Since Violet Evergarden.
Yeah, it's been a
Was
long,
it really that long ago? Oh my god.
Yes.
Did he not touch the movie at all? Who directed the movie?
Of UFO? That was
no, Violet Evergarden.
Oh, but I have no idea. I don't give a fuck about Violet Evergarden.
Like, I'm just assuming who directed the movie. Like, I'm assuming it was Ishidate because he did the show. And maybe that's what he was doing.
I'm not too sure.
Because I don't think it's Ishida, because Ishida is,
I don't
like,
remember.
Ishida's literally direct, like everything by KyoAni right now is like just Ishida, because Nago Yamada left, and I don't even know what Haruka Fujita is doing anymore.
She's dead. She left. I'm pretty sure she. No,
Not
she left
actually.
the studio.
Not actually. Not
No,
actually.
she's not actually.
Oh, my
dead.
bad. My bad. Yeah,
Don't
my bad.
say that.
She left the studio. She did some. She worked on something else outside of the studio. I'm like 80% certain. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah,
though.
she did some key animation, some small stuff for like other shows, but she hasn't taken the director seat since I think the Violet Evergarden TV show, which sucks because like her work in UFO is some of the best moments in UFO, and I
Yeah, she's amazing.
wish that she was still working on UFO. I don't know, but
It's sad. A lot of KyoAni people actually left. Like a lot of ones that were up and coming, especially, left after the
And you
the
can't blame
tragedy.
them.
No, yeah. Do you think I'm a white guy? Do you think I'm just I'm like there's a tragedy? I'm like I'm an American, so it's like, oh, there's a tragedy. It's
Get
their
over
fault.
it.
Get over it. A lot of talented people left the studio, sadly. Obviously, that's good for the anime industry in general, but at the same time, it's always sad to see people leave probably what they consider their home. But the Ishidate episode, it's very good. It's very good. It's very awesome. It's very. I was watching it and I was kind of in awe. I was like, this feels very old school KyoAni. Feels very old school KyoAni, but not in a like bad way. Not in like a way of like making it akin to the one guy who always did all like the visual novel anime openings. What was his name again? It's
Jun
escaping
Maeda?
me.
Jun Maeda?
No, not him, silly.
Oh.
The storyboarder, the director guy. He's like one of the
Ishida?
oldest. Yeah. Yes.
yeah,
That's who-
he does everything at KyoAni, like literally everything
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. But the compositioning and line art, especially in this one, it blends very well, and it feels like the first episode, I would say, where I was excited seeing it go from shot to shots, but that might just because I'm obsessed with festivals. But it's very good, and Ishidate's good.
Really? I never thought I'd hear that in my life, but I mean,
Yeah.
I hope so.
I liked that episode. It's not that good. Don't get your hopes up that much, but it's good for Ishidate.
Okay. Is it good
Like,
for
that's
you
what
then?
Yeah, it's up.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very much is. It very much is.
Is it as good
But
as episode 1 of season 2? Because that I think is still
No, God no. I don't think this season has any chance of beating that. Sadly.
We'll see. There are tidbits. There are moments where I feel like, well, actually, no. All the moments that have stood out so far in season 3 are of the same element, where like a flash of light comes up if it's not the sun coming out of the clouds, or like
Some
then
type
it's
of
a
lighting,
car
yeah,
that drives up.
brightens
Yeah,
the
that
emotion.
brightens it. I feel that's probably, I'm assuming, Ishida. Like he's like, oh, how do I like elevate this moment? Let me bring in a light source. It's like J.J. Abrams bringing in the lens flares.
I don't have any more to say about UFO, to be honest.
Oh no, wait, it's not Ishida. It's Ishihara. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Tatsuya Ishihara. I was like,
Yeah, I don't know why I said Ishida. Yeah, Ishihara. And he directed like Clanad and Phantom World, so you can see
Phantom World's
the
Kino.
range. The range.
of
guys.
his
Kino. Sorry, you don't understand it. The only
Glenn, Phantom World or Clanad?
Phantom World.
You're not asking me. That's not...
I'm not asking. I
Phantom
know Kevin's answer is Phantom World.
yeah.
Kevin, since you're probably irked after that statement, what's going on in Mushoku? What's going on in Mushoku Tensei?
I'm coping really hard for
Yeah,
Mushoku.
how hard are you coping?
I'm like reminiscing of like season 1 wasn't like amazing. Like it's not like one of my favorite anime of all time, but it was like a great show. I enjoyed it. Season 1, right? The elements.
It's really
I
fun.
know. I liked the adventure, like where they traveled to all the different continents, met all these different people, and then I was like, okay, we're done with that arc of like the first half of season 1, right? Where he's trying to get his boner back. He's got it. He's got it. Okay, guys, let's do something. Let's do something now.
Erectile dysfunction is a real problem in real life, Kevin. I'm sorry that you personally can't relate to it because you're having sex with so many women in your life, right? You wake up every day and you're just like, man, my dick works so good. Like, good for you, Kevin. Like, fucking fantastic. Think about the people out there whose dicks don't work because they take various medications that make their dick not work.
They got an entire like 12 episodes to solving it, dedicated to it. Okay, so they got more than enough. And then I continue with like watching the second half of this fucking season, and it's just like, bro, the first 2 episodes is literally Rudius getting a wedding. I'm just like, why do I have to watch this fucking I can't say the word, get married and be happy? I'm like, he shouldn't be happy. He doesn't deserve it. Why why is this happening? I hate not should have been me. No, it's not that. It's I want to see him suffer. I want to see him suffer like the little pig he is what I want to see. But no, the first 2 episodes is like he's inviting his friends to come along to his wedding. I'm like, what am I watching actually? Like, this is an isekai? I'm just watching like some dude get married. I'm like, what is this? But there was actually one good episode, okay? Because it didn't focus on Rudius. It was actually on Nanahoshi, and it's like, oh, what if you were trapped in an isekai world, but your life before you went to the fantasy world was actually good, so you have to leave all the good things that you had in your life, all your family and friends, and it's just Nanahoshi like grinding, trying to like get back to her real world, and when like everything she knows fails, she just like completely breaks down because she doesn't know what to do, and she feels like she's actually lost like everything in her life that's important and can't ever get it back. And then Rudius is just there, be like, oh, I'm sorry that you're sad. Yeah, Rudius is like, oh, I'm sorry that you're sad. Anyway.
Sometimes all it takes when you're sad is to have a male tell you that it's fine. It's that simple.
And you know what the newest episode is, Glenn? Oh my god.
What is it? Tell me.
His two little sisters are coming to live with him. And that's the episode. That's just the episode. They're like, I'm coming to live with Rudius because my dad's a deadbeat and
the cohabitation of siblings. The cohabitation of siblings is a very complicated issue, Kevin.
He's married.
It can wreak havoc on a relationship.
He's married.
It can wreak havoc on a relationship. Things are about to get way crazier, way zanier. It's gonna be like, whoa.
That's what every
sisters in my house
Mushoku Tensei fan has been saying. Like, oh, it'll get crazier this season. I'm still waiting. Like 16 episodes
like
in. I'm waiting.
The Shield Hero season 2 cope.
It'll get good. It's still good.
It's weird that it moved so.
It's such
deeply.
a different show.
It changes a lot of times. It changes a lot of times. I've read most of it. This one is very much about like the needs and actions of others, but not in like a super interesting way. So I can't really defend it. I can defend the erectile dysfunction season because it's really, the Kavi is so fucking funny. Like I adore it while hating it simultaneously.
But it's just like, from what we got previously, it's like, why did it turn into this show? It's so strange, very strange.
The author just was like.
So when does it actually get good? As in like anything akin to season 1? Is like that's that the next season?
I don't know. Based on how they probably have.
Bro's been in university for like 14 episodes. He's been in university.
A couple more episodes. There's a few more prodding questions that actually lead to some interesting stuff. But good luck, dude.
Yeah,
I'm not caught up. I'm not the one who has to ruminate on this. I'm still ruminating on season 2 and being like, oh man, ED. Whatever. I'm just thinking about my penis not working now, and I'm like, that'd be so sad if that happened. Could all 3 of us go get a vasectomy together?
You already asked that last time.
Did I in the last episode? What, did I really? I
think you've asked in the last 2 episodes. You've asked me once, and you've asked Kevin the other one time.
I just don't want to be alone. I want to have my friends there. I want to hold hands. I need that support. I didn't need support when I got a bronchoscopy, but I need support when I get a vasectomy.
Are you?
I know you guys weren't there
for
my
vasectomy?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
If you're really adamant to the doctor that you're really, really a pussy, they could put you under, but they're probably not gonna. They're not that considerate where they're like, oh, you're so
you'll
scared.
Be fine.
Oh man, okay, don't worry.
You're so
don't worry.
Scared.
I'll put you under, and then I'll just here one sec. They just start snapping your dick, and you're like, like it wasn't so bad. It wasn't.
No, yeah, you got one of those doctors who just fucks with you. You're just like, oh shit, oh, this is so bad. We fucked up.
Vasectomies can go wrong. They don't talk about that.
Everything can go wrong.
Well, let's not think about that.
They can go. They can. Your dick can hurt forever, Matt.
This is what happens when you talk.
Yeah,
about
I know.
fucking-
We've talked about this many times. We've talked about this getting vasectomies.
We've talked about penises. We've talked about penises a lot.
We talk about a lot of things that I don't. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
You know what? You know what it is. What it is. Spice and Wolf's pretty good.
All right. So
It's-
this is what
you
I
think
want.
so?
This is what I want to ask because
I don't think it's
You
as
think
good.
so?
I have. Like,
I thought it was dead. I saw one episode of it. I was like, there's no direction. There's no atmosphere. I don't know what anybody wants to do. It's the same thing with better animation, but with less atmosphere.
Oh,
And
100%.
at the end of the day, I don't like Spice and Wolf enough to even fucking care. Like, even the original. I like Hollow, and that
Yeah,
is
that's
as far as it has always been.
That's pretty much what I was gonna say. Is Hollow. How can you not like Hollow? How are you born a person who does not like Hollow? The only legitimate reason I can think of not liking Hollow is everybody else likes her, so you like her less. Like, that's the only thing. And if someone told me that, I'd be like,
contrarian.
I'd be like, that's so stupid, but I get it.
It's good to be a
I
hater.
get it.
Not really, but you
Yeah.
know, you do you little cringy boy. No, I
But,
wanted
tell-
to ask
tell
about
me.
like Spice and Wolf. It's like I have no desire to watch it, even though I really like the original Spice and Wolf. I like Hollow, I like Lawrence, I like what that show is. But like, I have no desire to watch the remake because it's like I know what's going to happen. I've seen it before, and it's like I guess it's just people who haven't seen the original wanting just to experience it the first time, and then everyone's going like, "Oh, look at Hollow, she's like amazing." I'm like, "Yeah, she is." I guess you guys haven't seen her before, but
It's just the new generation gets to experience what we experienced in a better way already. The classic.
well, animated in a better way, but maybe not actual.
No, that's what I
better quality.
no, yeah, you don't. No, yeah, you misinterpreted me. They get to experience what we experienced in a subpar way.
Yeah.
'Cause it's not as good. It's not as good as the original. But
Yeah.
Hollow's still there. Lawrence is still there.
So there's no reason
both
for me
very
to
No, God,
No.
no. God, fuck
No, it's the same show. It's it's weird. It's the same show, but it isn't the same soul.
It's two isolated people developing distinct feelings for each other, and it's a good type of intensity. So I'm watching it again because I really like it, but it does not have that soul. I don't feel as much of a connection to it as I did the old series. Like the lack of atmosphere, as
yeah.
you said, and just general direction visually, storyboarding. Hollow is so alive. She is animated very, like, whenever Hollow's on screen, you can tell the animators were like, well, we gotta animate Hollow. Like, you can tell that's what it's like. We gotta try.
Like the animation is way better than the original. But like the framing and the composition and storyboarding, like there's no guide for the audience as to like what needs to be focused on. I mean, a lot of it is, I guess, in the contents of the dialogue between like Hollow and Lawrence, but like it's just done. And I felt nothing. I was like, oh, they're just bantering, and it's like, oh, but I don't really.
The conversations in
feel
Hollow are
anything.
super alive, and nothing else is. Like, some of the cuts are nice, but just because there's a nice anime cut sometimes, if the direction's not there with the cut, it kind of just falls flat by itself. And I'm like, I can just see this as a GIF on Twitter and get the same exact feeling, which is really bad. if that's how
That
I
is
feel
what I've
watching
been
your
seeing.
show.
I've just been seeing the gifs on Twitter, not watching the show.
You're just consuming it by proxy.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen the OG. I've done my job.
No, I know. We're all old men here. We're all old men. We've all jerked off to Hollow. We've all been there. We've all spent many years considering the possibilities of a wolf wife that starts with the name of H. You want to know the worst part? You want to know the absolute worst part? It's 25 episodes.
Are you really?
Yes.
So wait,
it's
they're gonna
25
end. They're gonna end in the same fucking place again.
Yes!
Then. Oh my
are!
god. Oh
They are
my
doing that!
God.
I don't trust anybody. I don't trust women. I don't trust men. I don't even trust Japan anymore. It's all fucking bad.
the same place. Well, then
It's so
it really
stupid.
is just new fans getting to learn like, hey, there's not gonna be a season 3, or in this case, season 2, and it just ends again.
They knew everyone was gonna make jokes about like, oh wow, and they do 2 seasons, so they put it into 1 season. That way we can't say they did the same thing again. Because now it's not no season 3. That feel when no season 3. It's that feel when no season 2. They're like, see, we did something different. It's almost my heart is shattered. My heart is shattered. Why did they do this to us? Why did they do this to us?
Wait, Glenn, I have a question. I've been hearing, I don't know if it's good things, but there's things about like Kaiju 8. Is that good?
Yeah, I
or-
told you.
Oh, the
I'm glad-
ED to that.
I told
has,
you. I told you.
One Republic
Youngblood.
playing like.
Oh, Youngblood is also the OP.
Youngblood's the OP, and
One
One
Republic.
Republic is the ED, which is like
It's
the
really fucking
strangest
goofy.
thing.
It's really
That's
fucking
insane.
goofy.
That's actually
Yeah,
insane.
and it's like original music too. It's not like Eden of the East going for an Old Oasis song or like Ergo Proxy or Serial Experiments Lane going for like old like Boa songs or something like that. It's like One Republic made a song for this anime.
I know. It's actually just it's not. Yeah, it's just a unique song.
So
that's
Kaiju 8's
specifically for
actually
that.
good.
I see. The thing is, hey, guess what? I'm him. I think everyone has amnesia because we haven't recorded in a while. I'm him. I am
mean?
him.
What does that mean?
I told everybody before in the last podcast before the season started. We mostly talked about all the general stuff because there's not that much to be excited for. I said Kaiju 8 is probably going to be good. That was the one thing where I was like, I bet this will be popular and I bet it'll be good. I'm always right. I'm him. I'm him. I have seen more anime tits than you've ever fucking experienced. I have rejected so many possible sexual advances from women that I have reached the point that I can predict an anime is good based off of its fucking key visual. But also I read the manga before, so it's pretty good. It's
Do you think we should watch
I don't think
it?
I think
I might watch
Kevin would I think Kevin would like it. I don't think you would like it.
That's
I
fair.
know you. I would
guess I
know
don't like
you.
shonen, so
Yeah, you would not like it. It's very it steps away in a lot of fun ways from the battle shonen formula, but also indulges too much for you to like it. Like it's too compliant with it. Like it's like polite with being a battle shonen. It's not Hero Academia levels of being the most I've already seen this thing ever and seen it done better already, but it's like what do you say? It has the trappings of something good. So sometimes that shines. It's a fun show. It's a fun show. Fun manga. Because I only watched the first episode. But I didn't realize people were picking up on it. It makes me glad. It makes me glad that people actually are giving it a shot.
yeah. But speaking of other shows, I mean, we talked about Jellyfish. I've only seen 1 episode. Have you seen more?
I've only seen 1 episode.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts?
Are
What were your thoughts?
people talking about that? Because I thought it was.
No, I don't
Nobody's
even know
talking
what
about that.
that.
Oh,
I
that's
don't even
too
know what
bad.
that is.
'Cause the production of it is like really good.
It is. We
And
talked about
it's-
it last episode, I think, where I was like, I think this was like the you and I show, Matt, because we usually have one of those every season where we're like,
Yeah.
oh, this is the one. Unless there's just 0, which that happens more often than not now. But this
yeah,
was the one.
usually. This is like it gave me the first episode. I don't know why I haven't seen more of it. I guess it's like weird because I don't really know where it could go. Like the first episode felt a lot like the first episode to Sora Yorimo, a place further from the place further than the universe. Like
that's a great comparison.
it had that like same sort of energy, like it was the beginning of this sort of adventure, but where like Sora Yorimo, like, oh, they're gonna go to Antarctica, you know what to anticipate. This one, I guess, like I just didn't know what to anticipate. It's like, oh, so she's just gonna sing, and then the other girl's gonna draw for her. So it's kind of like, okay, well, I guess we'll see what that means, what that's gonna mean. But no, like just the directing of it was really good. I mean, the kind of non-linear editing at certain points.
Yes.
Like it had that same kinetic energy that Manga Sensei had, where the way that like characters move and the way that shots moved, it was really seamless, and it gave like Shibuya this dreamy vibe. Like it's kind of like this fever dream. Like the characters aren't drunk or anything like that, but when you cut through the neighborhood, when they're constantly like going through the town, it definitely feels like you're drunk on just the energy of the whole place. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm really looking forward to it being good.
I want to see I want to see more. I want to see how it unfolds, because it's a good spotlight of desynchronized editing, like you said, and a lot of nods to things that I really like Aramanga Sensei, and Suriyori is one I didn't even consider, but that is very true. But visually, it almost gives me that fun feeling of the first few episodes of Kong Ming, but with a much more...
no, it definitely is kind of like that.
Yeah,
too.
it's like a more elaborate interpretation of it, though, where I can tell...
Please don't focus on a fucking kid rapping for like half of the show.
Yeah. This one seems like... There'll be more sequences in this one that are actually memorable. Because Kong Ming, I'll be honest, I remember like the first episode of Kong Ming, and that's it.
Yeah.
I really wanted to like Kong Ming, and I think I had fun watching it most of the time.
It was fine, but Kong Ming didn't give what it wanted to sell. Like, it wasn't him developing all these crazy Death Note Kaguya-sama-esque plans. To,
it was like edging. It was like
up.
edging the show. It was edging the show where it was just on the cusp constantly of being like, oh, this is almost a good show. Oh, this is almost a good show.
I just felt that show was basically just gaslighting me, because I was like, it's telling me what the show is gonna be about, and then it's becomes about something completely fucking different that I don't fucking care about. It becomes like a worse 8 Mile. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
I think like a lot of the dialogue became really repetitive and samey as the time went on.
Oh yeah, like it's just like it didn't follow up on its promise, and like that's why I'm so confused about this show, because I don't know what exactly it's promising. Like, it looks promising from the production, but I don't know what the narrative wants the story to be.
The narrative's like this dichotomy of auteur versus autism. You have no fucking idea what's happening. It's phenomenal. Like, I really, it wasn't like an amazing first episode, but I have a lot of belief in it, which I don't have that a lot with a lot of anime most of the time, not nowadays. So the fact that it's this original series that it's not functioning in a very formal way, I'm like, please, like everybody should be watching this. I know I only seen the first episode, but you should be watching the things that are out there and weird. You should be giving them a shot. Yeah, because like, why do you want to watch the same chemistry
sad
from
that
everything?
People aren't watching this, because like it clearly is made with that like intention to. I mean, everything's made with the intention to be watched, but like this show definitely like when they were making the show, I definitely felt like, oh, people will like get into this. People are gonna addict it. I mean, it almost in some ways it kind of teases like, oh, this is like what it's like to be behind the scenes of like Otto, you know, like Otto's a massive singer. Nobody knows what she looks like. And this is kind of like taking on that sort of type of artist that is kind of coming up and coming and trending in Japan, where like these really cool oshare artists where nobody knows the true face of, and they can live behind this caricature. And I'm assuming that this show is like developing this caricature for like this singer, because like this singer, she's a failed idol from a scandal, and instead of showing her face this time, she's returning to the music industry but with just her voice. But she needs, I guess, some visual element to tag onto her music, so she finds this artist who has an imposter syndrome in many ways, or is just too embarrassed to be in the spotlight because she doesn't want to face rejection. Like, she's barely even faced rejection. She just doesn't even want to like bother with the idea of it. Yeah. And I think, it's just, where can it go? I don't know. And it's one of those things where, now that I realize, because like, we've seen a lot of shit, and even like I like to write stories, like I'm trying to write like screenplays and whatnot, so like you kind of have you've kind of like exercised your brain into like anticipating, well, this is what roadmap this story is building from like the beginning. Like, you can tell what kind of story people want to write, and what kind of beats they want to hit. Like, it'll always be different, and like everybody wants to kind of subvert those ideas or kind of flip those expectations or the archetypes and whatnot. But this, I don't even know what's going to happen. I don't know where it wants to go. And that's exciting. That's the reason why I haven't like watched any of the other shows, because I like what Kevin said, I want to like binge this one because I don't want to wait.
Great. I'm glad I got the 2 bingers. So now I'm gonna next episode. What are we gonna talk about?
I've been a binger, mate. I've been a binger my
Also,
whole life.
I know you have. I know. I accept you as you are, even though I fucking hate you. There's this. You said Eromanga Sensei. Is it because you remembered that I told you that it is Takeshita? Like Takeshita is the one directing it.
I think I would have noticed.
Yeah,
If you didn't tell me, I think I would have noticed.
I think you would have noticed too. No, I was just curious because I was curious if you remembered or you just like immediately realized because it's Takeshita is very easy to tell. There's not many people.
No,
that
I went
do
into it knowing that it was him directing it, but like from it's so horny from the beginning in the same way that Eromanga Sensei is. I was like, oh, it's him.
Takeshita, he does not shy away from it. And the thing is, it's not even like horny for the sake of desperately trying to get pussy voice. It's horny for the sake of it just fits his visual language so well. Like, I know that sounds odd to say, but that's a lot of like anime creators and manga creators and a lot of even anime art in general, where the horniness really fits within like the framework of their mind. And I think that's Takeshita. It's the horniness is not, there's no negativity there. You don't look at it and think, oh, that's kind of gross. You think, oh wow, I'm glad that it's horny in this way. Like, this is the good kind of horny because it's like unconscious effort.
It's like a part of the personality of the humor of the show or the humor of the world.
Takeshi does such a good job.
It's so in your face. Like it's so like the first 3 minutes. I was like, oh damn, we're back. The boys are back.
If you hadn't seen, just watch the first 3 minutes of the show. Because I don't even want to say what it was, but please watch the first 3 minutes of the show, and you will want to keep watching, I think. Did you watch anything else?
Mizushima's new show. I saw the first episode of that, and I'll probably watch more of it because it's Mizushima doing Mayoiga again, but with like, have you seen it at all? Like Train at the End of the World.
I watched the first episode.
Yeah, do you think that this is the closest Mizushima has ever gotten to Ikuhara? It felt very Ikuhara.
It kind of does have that weirdly Yuri feeling.
Yeah, that and like the surreal fairy tale-esque vibe of it. Like just the way it begins, a fucking like girl walks out of a train station and then she gets teleported by a fucking like owl box that flies her to the roof of a building and then like introduces her like in front of a crowd and like this presenter saying like, yo, click this button for 7G, let's go. And then she like clicks it and then the world basically fucking goes to shit.
It's a weird show. Like
it's so Mizushima though.
Yeah,
it's like the comedy and the horror thing. Like again, where he kind of built it off from Another, where Another is mostly horror, but there was some comedy in it, which I think a lot of people like made fun of it for. But I think it was pretty much intentional with how fucking like just crazy and drastic and like over the top the violence and the deaths in that show were. And he did it again with Mayoiga, but I think like Mayoiga wanted to be more of a comedy, but like it just never fully committed to it.
It did.
It was like half a horror and half a comedy. It was never fully anything like or anything of itself. But I'm hoping that this show is.
I think this show can do that, but I think in defense of Mayoiga had a 12-week period where it was funny. And it can never be that, and it can never be funny again. Unless you watch that show airing and you were shitposting on like 4chan or some forum, or like you had a bunch of friends you were shitposting about it with in a Discord server. Moyoiga is not good unless you were alive and watching it during that time. I promise you.
There's no way
you had that experience.
You can watch Mayoiga now again. Like watching it airing is fine. Yeah,
I don't
watching
want
it
to.
airing is fine, but like if you recommended that show, someone would be like, "What the fuck are you?"
Even if I watched it now to make like to show people it would not be the same because you're not watching it weekly. You're not going from episode to episode being preoccupied thinking like very specific things, or you see what other see what other people thought, and you're like combining it with your own thoughts. Now it's just you watch the episode, you watch the next episode, you watch the next episode, you watch the next episode. It's just not the same. Those 12 weeks were excellent. It can never be good again. Moyoiga sucks, but it sucks for all of you and not me because I watched it airing and I shit posted. I shit
saw it
posted
airing.
about it.
I just didn't finish it. I was like, I don't. What is this? This is
You
weird.
You weren't captivated.
I wasn't captivated. All I remember from Mayoiga is like the girl vomiting on the bus driver from like the first episode or something.
That's
the only image I remember from Mayoiga.
I think that's the thing that's most commonly posted on Moega and like any anime-esque like site. it's very well animated vomit.
Yeah. Back to Train, End of the World Train or whatever. Like
back to Train.
The comedy in it is very Ikuhara. Like, come on, like the fucking old guy who like transforms into like this Sarazanmai looking character with like a hat and like the react like the kind of like just it's just like a matter of factness part of the world, but like the character's just like what the fuck, and it's that's like that's so I don't know. I was just like Mitsushima's cooking something. And the fucking just like blood stains on the truck, just like just there, just nobody acknowledging it.
Mitsushima is such a good director in that there's so many things he does where nobody except in your brain for a very brief fraction of a second before you accept it yourself investigates what the fuck is going on in this world, what the fuck is happening with these characters. Because you watch Girls in Panzer, all of a sudden they're doing a fucking dance and you're like, yeah, that makes sense. And the dance goes on for 5 minutes and you're like, I'm starting to understand. Like there's like this transcendent moment in your brain where you accept everything. Like he makes you accept it.
Girls in Panzer should literally be studied in film school, especially if you want to make an action film. And I know it never will be.
I agree.
It never will be treated like all the other great action stuff out there. It still pains me to this day to know that Girls in Panzer will not be studied the way that the Bible should be studied.
Listen, I'm just saying, I think Mitsushima and Girls in Panzer should definitely be studied over Scorsese films. I'm just saying. Who has 3.5 hours? Yes, yeah. Who the fuck has 3.5 hours? Who has the fucking 3.5 hours to watch The Irishman? I sure fucking know. I have
3.5 4 hours to watch Killers of the Flower Moon.
I could watch Girls in Panzer like 7 times. It should be studied.
Yeah.
And I think I mean there's Blue Archive.
Oh yeah, what do you think of the Chinese lolly Kanko show?
It's very
from
different.
The Dojin?
How dare you? Yes, from the Dojin, yes. I can't even talk about Blue Archive again. Well, the thing is, I don't play. None of us play the game. None of us care. Like all of us are just people who are like, yeah, we know those characters.
Blue Archive was just Azure Lane, but with lollies instead.
No, Blue Archive is actually a lot better than like those specific games. Like there's actual content there that
I
is
don't play those
worthwhile.
dog shit anime games.
Yeah, like who plays those?
Weebs,
gamblers.
Matt.
No, not
Gambling
even like weebs. I feel like it's a very. It's not okay. It's a. I'm sure it's a massive player base, but I feel like.
Oh, it is massive. Yeah.
You don't regularly meet those kind of people. Like I've never met anyone who's like crazy into Azure Lane.
You'll never meet them. They'll never leave their basement. Of course, you never meet them.
Yeah.
They exist. I promise you, they exist. It's okay. It's you know it's adaptation of like the first arc of the game, so it's not like the most exciting thing in the world because with gacha games they usually start out pretty samey from a lot of other aspects of other gacha games, so it's not the best for it's okay. Like the thing is I want to see more of the characters that I'm used to seeing on Twitter that I'm horny for because it's not most of the current ones. Like they're there, but they're not 100% there. And that's my wrap up on Blue Archive. And there's a few other things to talk about, but I'm fucking tired.